Yo, yo, yo! Record of the day is Aphrodite, Def Jammer. Tune. This is the first Aphrodite song I ever heard. Came out in '99. Record belongs to my buddy Chris Nielsen, aka DJ Destro, who has long since retired from drum and bass and DJing in general and doesn't want to hear shit about it anymore. That's okay. He gave me a lot of his collection, including this, and I love this fucking tune. Not only is it the first Aphrodite tune I ever heard, it's also the first one I ever beat matched by accident. I put this with Ganja Crew played. I forget which tune it was. And it just happened to work. I remember like my man Johnny being like shocked that I was just, it worked. I was cutting the fader back and forth and shit. I love this style. I'm gonna let it build for a minute and I'll keep talking. Yeah, I love this style, man. Shit like this and shit from like Mulder, the whole urban takeover kind of style. I think like Kenny Kennison songs like this too. This era, this late 90s jump up style. Breakdowns were always right there for you. Like, so mixing was very much like kind of had a funky element to it. A lot of crossfader work on those breakdowns. A lot of golden era hip hop samples in there. Those slidey roller bass lines, dude, it just everybody responded to. They're just very warm, accessible songs. I don't know, man. A lot of space, sonically speaking, in the mid-range. So if you want to scratch on this, it's not going to sound too congested. You know, a lot of space for that in there. You want to throw hip-hop vocals over this. These kind of songs have room for experimentation. I really appreciate that about them the more I got into DJing. And it all started with this one for me. You know, this is where I first kind of heard that cross-pollination between electronic music and hip-hop. It's just, I understood it at that point. Like, oh shit, there it is. You know, there's the missing link. Before that, I just heard jungle, and I loved jungle, but I hadn't quite found that mesh yet. This is the one, man. Funky as hell. Great samples, man. I mean, Aphrodite's gone through a lot of iterations, but this is my favorite era of his. Yeah, buddy. Good shit. Good shit. Now, this is definitely up there with the most important records for me in drum and bass because it was one of the first records that I put on decks, and I saw how it worked. I started speaking the language. But a lot of folks have a stronger affinity for the other side of this record, which I'll play a second of, because the other side of this joint is Aphrodite's Stalker. Now, if you've ever seen Human Traffic, or if you have perpetuated that meme over and over and over again, where that dude's like, you know, this will make Hare Krishna turn into a bad boy. This is the song from that scene. I think it's not quite as good as Def Jammer, but whatever. So yeah, a lot of folks treasure this one because of that scene. I mean, they're all good. This whole era of Aphrodite tunes are all good. Just those rolling ass bass lines, man. So if you ever wanted to know what that song was and you hadn't figured it out by now, that song from Human Traffic is Stalker from Aphrodite. But I prefer Def Jammer, which is the point of this video. Old ass record for me. This is 21 years old. Came out in 99. Thank you again to my buddy Chris for giving this to me when he decided he no longer cared about drum and bass. Good shit. So yeah, man, all those styles, or that style I should say, that came out back then, late 90s jump up style, really helped to form who I would become as a DJ as far as my personal take on the music, how to manipulate the songs around breakdowns, and how to use that hip hop influence that was so prevalent in the songs to make the crowds more involved in the music. Because when I used to play at house parties and shit, a lot of folks just didn't want to hear techno, and fair enough. You don't have to like that shit, but we would show up with our turntables and we'd set up, and as long as the person that threw the party didn't care, fuck what you thought. But still, you want cats to enjoy it. So shit like that was really important because it was accessible. It wasn't quite as gate kept as some of the electronic music can be. So yeah, fucking Aphrodite, man. I think everybody at some point has loved one of his tunes as far as drum and bass goes, and that's where I got my entry, was with Def Jammer. That'll do it, kids. Tomorrow is Digital Sunday, Digital Dimanche, so I'm going to pick out something nice from my digital collection, and we'll go sit downstairs and talk about it. So until then, peace.